I started in construction when I was 21, not because I loved 80-hour weeks or scraping drywall off my jeans at midnight, but because I knew I had to build something better than what I grew up with. My father bailed when I was 5. It was just my mom and me in a one-bedroom with a busted heater in the middle of winter. I watched her juggle bills like she was doing magic, except the tricks never worked. By 24, I had picked up enough trades, electrical, plumbing, framing, to call myself dangerously capable, and I'd saved just enough to enroll in night classes for business admin. My 2 friends, Marco and Julian, were on similar paths, guys who could fix anything but were sick of making other people rich. At 26, we pulled $15,000 each and launched our own renovation company. We worked out of my garage, 3 folding tables, a whiteboard from a thrift store, and a coffee maker that died weekly. We survived on frozen burritos and ambition. 8 months in, we got lucky. A kitchen renovation for a lawyer named Mr. Estrada. Sharp guy, Ivy League type, but grounded. He liked our work but warned, "Your contracts are a lawsuit waiting to happen." I offered to redo his bathroom for legal help. He declined the bathroom, but gave us a great deal on legal services. That decision, taking him seriously, saved me years later. By year 2, with Estrada's help, we were legally structured and protected. Thanks to one of his connections, we got signed on by a mid-tier real estate firm looking for dedicated contractors. That deal changed everything. Fast forward 6 years, I was 32. Our company had 30 employees, 3 active sites, and pulled 7 figures in annual revenue. We had a real office, health insurance, Christmas parties. We were legit. And that's around when Ariana came into my life. We met at a charity art gala. I almost skipped. She worked in PR for a rising tech firm. She was magnetic, poised, confident, and dressed like she walked off a fashion shoot. We hit it off instantly. 6 months later, we moved in together. A year after that, we got married. Small ceremony, maybe 50 people. Classy, but low-key. Early on, things were good. We both worked hard. She supported my business, and I celebrated her career wins. I bought a house in my name before the wedding, just in case things ever went sideways. Thank Estrada for that advice. Then came the big turning point. We signed a $10.5 million development contract. Overnight, our income tripled. My lifestyle changed. So did hers. Ariana started going out more, lunch meetings, networking mixers, client events. When I texted her to check in, I'd get replies hours later. With investors, can't talk. She began complaining about her job, said her boss was incompetent, and that other women in the office were jealous of her. Eventually, she just stopped working, said she was done with corporate nonsense, and wanted to focus on passion projects. I suggested Ariana try for a more challenging role at her company, maybe pivot departments, go after a leadership track. She didn't just dismiss the idea. She acted like I'd insulted her. "You don't get it," she said. "I need to do something that actually means something to me." I told her I supported that fully, but I also thought she should maybe hold on to her job while figuring it out. Instead, she quit. No plan, no backup, just walked into her boss's office and resigned. She told me she couldn't focus on her future while stuck in a toxic environment. 2 months of soul searching followed, which, in practice, meant back-to-back spa appointments, midweek wine tastings, and $600 candle shopping sprees. Then came the big reveal. She wanted to become a personal branding and image consultant. Ariana had always had good taste, I won't lie, and she claimed a few friends had asked for her style tips before. She was convinced there was a market for it. I wanted to believe in her, so I backed her new venture. $7,500 for a high-end certification, $15,000 for website design, business cards, luxury inventory, and a few branded photo shoots. She was ecstatic for a while, but 6 months in, the cracks showed. Turns out, starting a business is hard when it's not just about clothes and curated selfies. Clients had demands, budgets, deadlines. She started cancelling appointments because she was too overwhelmed. When I gently suggested maybe making a work schedule or marketing plan, she snapped. "This isn't one of your job sites, okay? Creative people don't follow punch clocks." Meanwhile, I was pulling 12-hour shifts, juggling projects, contractors, and investor meetings. I'd come home to see her curled up on the couch, surrounded by shopping, bags from designer brands, bags I definitely hadn't budgeted for. One afternoon, I asked her about a $4,700 charge to our shared card at a boutique store in Soho. She didn't even flinch. That's an investment in my brand. But you wouldn't understand that. Marketing is about image, not spreadsheets. Our intimacy, once passionate and spontaneous, flatlined from several times a week to maybe once every 2 weeks, and only when she initiated. When I brought it up, trying to be vulnerable, she shot back, "Is that really all you care about? That's pressure. Don't guilt me." Then she'd disappear into the bathroom for hours. It became a cycle. Anytime I questioned something, I became the problem. I didn't recognize it back then, but she was slowly detaching, rewriting the story of our marriage in her mind. And then came Camille. Camille was 38, freshly divorced for the second time, and Ariana's new best friend. From the moment I met her, I knew exactly what she was. She wore $1,000 heels to brunch and took mirror selfies, like it was a religion. Her laugh was hollow, and her compliments were colder than ice. Her Instagram, a highlight reel of yachts, shopping trips, and champagne, with zero evidence of how she funded any of it. I wasn't fooled. She lived off alimony and dating men who didn't read the fine print. Camille, Ariana's new best friend, lived off divorce settlements like it was a career path, and she was good at it. She had 2 ex-husbands, no job I could track, and yet managed to maintain a lifestyle that included designer clothes, private yoga instructors, and bottomless brunches. Her social media was a highlight reel of yachts, rooftop cocktails, and sponsored looking posts, without a single sponsor. It didn't take long before Camille's voice replaced Ariana's inner compass. Phrases started popping up in our conversations that didn't sound like my wife at all. Camille says, if a man really loves his wife, he doesn't ask about spending. A real man provides, not because he has to, but because he values his woman. Supporting your wife financially isn't optional, it's the minimum. Meanwhile, Ariana's weekends turned into luxury excursions, wine tour in Sonoma, 3-day spa retreats in Scottsdale, endless boutique consulting trips, all paid for by me. She'd come home tipsy and glowing, telling stories of men who bought their table drinks just for the vibe, or strangers who sent over 200 bottles because we looked successful. But it wasn't just the spending. She started hiding her phone, turning the screen away when she typed, stepping into other rooms to answer messages. Her Instagram, which used to be pictures of travel and lifestyle, suddenly became a showcase of gym selfies and filtered mirror shots, usually tagged with vague business grind captions. That's when Logan entered the picture. Ariana said he was a fitness influencer and brand client, someone she was consulting for. He had thousands of followers and posted shirtless thirst traps daily. She insisted it was all work, branding strategy, marketing alignment, blah blah blah. Except the strategy sessions always ran late. She'd come home smelling like cologne I didn't wear. Her hair would be damp. Her energy would be different. She said it was client dinners and fitness launch parties. But deep down, I knew. I didn't accuse. I don't throw bombs without evidence. But my gut was screaming, and I wasn't the only one who noticed. One day, while I was zoning out at work, my business partner Marco pulled me aside. "You good, man? You've been checked out lately. That's not like you." I tried to brush it off, but he pressed. He told me his cousin had gone through something eerily similar. His wife drained his accounts and walked with half the company, all because he didn't get in front of it fast enough. That conversation lit a fuse in me. I started documenting everything: dates, receipts, spending patterns, when she was home, when she wasn't, her social posts versus what she told me she was doing, her growing detachment from our life. For the next 3 months, she was physically present but emotionally checked out, always on her phone, making unilateral decisions about vacations, purchases, and even our finances without a single conversation. We hadn't been intimate in over 2 months. Her excuses ranged from "I'm exhausted" to "I've got early meetings," yet she'd stay up until 2 a.m. binge-watching shows or texting someone on silent. One night I tried to be close. She actually laughed. "Don't even think about it. I've got an early session with Logan tomorrow." Logan again. She began picking apart every part of my life, my clothes, my friends, even my lunch choices. "You really need to let me restyle you. Those jeans, tragic." Meanwhile, she was dropping thousands on her consulting brand. One afternoon, while I was finishing up some structural revisions at a job site, Ariana texted something dismissive about a client call I'd missed. I told her I'd been knee-deep in electrical rewiring, and she responded, "If you had more business vision, you'd hire someone for that stuff." Logan says real success is about delegation. Logan again. It was becoming clear where this was headed, but 2 moments solidified it. The first came on a Thursday. I came home unexpectedly. Early around 2 p.m., a permit issue had delayed the work, and when I walked into the kitchen, Ariana and Camille were sitting at the island, drinking sparkling water out of stemless wine, glasses like it was a scene from a reality show. They didn't hear me come in at first. Karma. Camille was mid-sentence. "Just make sure your exit strategy is lined up. Get your finances untangled first." My second husband thought he could hide assets, but my lawyer hunted every dollar. They always think they're clever. The moment they saw me, both froze. Ariana smiled too quickly. "Wow, didn't expect you this early. Everything okay at the site?" I looked at Camille. "What exit strategy are you talking about?" Camille didn't flinch. "We're helping a friend leave a toxic marriage. You wouldn't know her." I didn't believe a word of it. That night, I called Estrada Montero, my old friend and the lawyer who'd helped us build the company from the ground up. He specialized in business law, but had taken on enough high-stakes divorce cases to know exactly what was happening. He picked up on the first ring. I told him everything: the shift in Ariana's behavior, the financial chaos, Camille's influence, the client named Logan. I even recounted what I overheard in the kitchen. He didn't hesitate. "She's preparing to leave and take as much as she can. We need to move fast, but everything must be clean, legal, documented." The next morning, I was in his office by 8 a.m. We built a strategy from the ground up. Document financials going back to before the marriage. Track company growth based on premarital investment and sweat equity. Show emotional and financial abandonment. Avoid anything that could be interpreted as coercion or illegal surveillance. Estrada said something I'll never forget. "This isn't about punishing her, it's about protecting what you built before she even showed up." For the next 3 weeks, I became methodical. I compiled company ledgers, invoices, and bank statements, tracked every dollar that had gone into the business in the 5 years before. Ariana and I even met. With the help of our accountant, we mapped out the company's growth in black and white, growth that was based on 80-hour weeks, hard hats, and concrete, not scented candles and business cards. I took every precaution to stay within the law. I installed security cameras in all legally allowed common areas of the house, the living room, the front entrance, even the garage where Ariana stored her branding props. All footage was automatically uploaded to a secure cloud account accessible only to me and my lawyer, Estrada. Each day, I logged her absences, her emotional shutdowns, and the steady refusal of any intimacy. I noted the nights she worked late and the mornings she left before saying a word. Our conversations had dwindled to logistics, nothing more. The financial side was worse. Over just 3 months, she spent over $7,300 on client-related expenses for Logan, a boutique weekend in Santa Barbara, a designer duffel bag, custom skincare, and wardrobe packages. She called it business development. I called it something else. Karma. I backed up every receipt. Meanwhile, I built an inventory of everything we owned, time-stamped photos, purchase invoices, and records clearly distinguishing between what I had before our marriage and what we acquired afterward. I didn't want her to rewrite history. Then came the second breaking point. One night, while she was in the shower, her phone buzzed on the nightstand. I didn't touch it, but the screen lit up just long enough for the preview to show. "Logan, can't wait for next week. No more hiding." I took a single screenshot. Nothing more. I said nothing. Not yet. Estrada had been clear. She has to be the one to make the move. Voluntary abandonment will be your legal shield. So I waited. The following Monday started like any other. I was on site early, handled a supplier issue, and swung by the butcher after work to grab two prime cuts for dinner. Back home, I marinated the steaks, opened a bottle of wine, and lit the grill. Ariana had been cold all weekend, always with Camille, always buried in her phone. According to Instagram, their latest strategy session involved 6 hours on a rooftop terrace in West Hollywood drinking overpriced cocktails. She walked through the door, didn't look at me, barely said hello. Then, without emotion, she said it. "I'm moving out tonight. I need space." Like she was ordering a decaf latte. No apology, no explanation. I stopped turning the steaks, looked at her, and simply asked, "Where are you going?" She let out a dramatic sigh, as if I was bothering her. Logan offered me a room, just until I figure things out. The same Logan she'd been advising on his brand. The same Logan she was clearly in a relationship with. A spare room, sure. And I was grilling tofu. But I didn't yell. I didn't ask her to stay. Instead, I nodded slowly, turned back to the grill, and said, "If that's what you want." She stood there for a moment, clearly stunned by my calm. Maybe she expected begging, maybe tears, but I'd already mourned the relationship weeks ago. What she didn't know was that I'd been watching her dismantle our marriage brick by brick. All I had to do was step out of the way and let her finish.